I have spent decades observing people work hard, save diligently, and still approach retirement completely backwards. Most people labor 40 years, save money blindly, and simply hope everything works out eventually in retirement. Hope is comforting, but hope has never been a strategy for financial security or lasting peace. By the time someone realizes their savings are insufficient, time is already gone forever. Compounding cannot help. You cannot rewind decades or magically add years of compounding after retirement unexpectedly arrives at 65. That is why retirement success must be built intentionally, not accidentally or emotionally without careful consideration. Retirement is not about having money, it is about having dependable income that continues even in uncertainty. When your paycheck stops, your expenses continue without sympathy, mercy, or delay. Preparation is absolutely essential in advance. Selling assets to fund retirement slowly destroys the portfolio you worked decades building, reducing long-term security. Income-producing assets allow you to live without shrinking the financial foundation you spent years constructing carefully. Dividend-paying companies provide cash flow without forcing you to sell ownership, preserving your capital for future generations. The right companies increase dividends consistently, protecting income from inflation quietly and reliably over decades of market cycles. Growing income matters more than large balances once working years are finished and cash flow replaces earned wages. Dividend income replaces salaries while preserving the principal for future security, creating freedom to spend without financial fear. A portfolio built only for growth fails retirees when markets decline unexpectedly or volatility consumes confidence unnecessarily. Income assets remove fear by paying you regardless of market emotions or the panic spreading among investors. Growth still matters because retirement can last far longer than most people expect, often 30 years or more. An index fund quietly compounds wealth while you focus on living life peacefully without constant monitoring or stress. You do not trade it. Time works silently in your favor, allowing compounding to grow wealth naturally. Dividend income becomes spending money. Growth assets become long-term insurance, and both together protect against retirement uncertainty. Real estate adds another layer of stability retirement portfolios desperately need to withstand inflation, market downturns, or economic crises. Rental income continues even when markets panic or headlines spread fear, providing a reliable source of monthly cash. Rents rise with inflation, protecting purchasing power naturally over time without depending on volatile stock market growth. Real estate diversifies risk away from pure market dependence, reducing portfolio volatility during unexpected crises or recessions. Not everyone wants landlord headaches, which is why REITs exist, offering passive exposure without operational responsibilities or stress. Real estate income complements dividends and reduces volatility during uncertain years while preserving wealth for future needs. Inflation destroys retirees quietly by reducing purchasing power every single year if protective assets are ignored completely. Fixed income without protection slowly impoverishes people without them noticing, especially during prolonged inflation or declining interest rates. Inflation-protected securities exist to preserve real value, not generate excitement. They defend purchasing power over long periods. They function as financial defense, protecting what you already earned against the erosion caused by inflation over decades. Defense matters just as much as growth when time becomes limited and mistakes in allocation are costly. Housing costs dominate retirement expenses more than most people realize, often exceeding food, travel, and discretionary spending combined. Owning your home outright dramatically reduces required retirement income and eliminates one of the largest monthly financial burdens. A paid-off house creates security no market return can replace, reducing stress and allowing freedom to allocate capital. Retiring with a mortgage increases stress and financial vulnerability dangerously, limiting flexibility and forcing difficult trade-offs during retirement. Peace of mind often outweighs theoretical investment returns in retirement because stability allows you to make choices confidently. These assets work together, not individually or emotionally, creating a portfolio that survives multiple financial environments. Each one solves a different financial risk retirees face, from market crashes to inflation to longevity and expenses. Dividend income covers living expenses without selling assets, keeping your capital intact while enjoying a reliable, growing cash flow. Index growth protects against longevity and rising future needs, allowing wealth to compound over decades without active management. Real estate provides inflation-resistant cash flow stability, complementing stocks while diversifying risk across multiple asset classes efficiently. Inflation protection preserves purchasing power during uncertain economic cycles, safeguarding your lifestyle against surprises and unexpected economic shifts. Low housing costs reduce dependency on volatile markets, freeing money for discretionary spending, investments, and unexpected medical expenses. Most retirement failures come from ignoring one or more of these pillars, leaving retirees vulnerable to avoidable crises. Too many bonds reduce growth and increase inflation risk, offering stability but insufficient long-term wealth accumulation for retirement. Growth-only portfolios fail when income becomes necessary, forcing retirees to sell appreciated assets at potentially unfavorable market times. Lack of diversification amplifies stress during downturns, often causing panic sales or poor decision-making that erodes long-term wealth. Waiting too long removes options and flexibility, leaving little time to recover from poor allocation or economic shocks. Retirement planning cannot be rushed during final working years, as compounding, debt reduction, and income generation require decades. Time is the most valuable financial asset anyone ever owns, far more important than transient market opportunities. Once time disappears, no strategy can recover it, and late starts often force compromises on lifestyle and security. People who retire confidently did not rely on hope. They built assets patiently, consistently, and deliberately over decades. They understood the power of starting early, taking steady steps, and avoiding the lure of quick wins. Start with one step today, not perfect execution. Small actions accumulate into massive results over years, silently. Progress compounds faster than hesitation ever will, and fear often costs far more than initial financial inaction. Your future self depends on decisions you make now, not when it feels convenient or emotionally satisfying. Choose structure over fear and preparation over hope, building a foundation that supports decades of retirement confidently. Spend your time intentionally because money is replaceable, but years spent with loved ones cannot be recovered ever. Health, relationships, and peace of mind are as important as financial security for meaningful, stress-free retirement living. Balance saving, investing, and enjoying life now. Neglecting any of these creates regret no financial success erases. Your portfolio should be boring, diversified, and predictable. Excitement rarely equals consistent wealth, but consistency always compounds reliably. Avoid chasing hot tips, fads, or speculative investments. History rewards patience, discipline, and thoughtful long-term allocation consistently. Understand the math. Compounding is relentless but requires time and consistency to reach meaningful financial outcomes securely. The snowball effect of money works for anyone willing to be disciplined, patient, and systematic over decades. Even late starters can accumulate wealth with proper strategy, disciplined savings, and investment in dependable income-producing assets.
Your allocation should reflect priorities: dividends for spending, growth for longevity, real estate for stability, inflation protection for defense. Housing costs must be minimized to reduce pressure on investments and maximize disposable retirement income without stress. Health should never be ignored. Physical well-being directly affects your ability to enjoy wealth, freedom, and family connections. Time with family, friends, and loved ones compounds in joy, satisfaction, and legacy far more than financial assets. Social Security and pensions are part of the income puzzle. Strategic claiming decisions maximize lifetime benefits effectively. Delayed Social Security increases guaranteed income by about 8% per year, a return impossible to replicate elsewhere. If health concerns exist, early